today by my wonderful husband, Rob Delory.
Hey, everybody.
We had an earlier podcast that was all about sipping in San Diego. And today we're going to talk about eating San Diego, where we went, what we ate. We're both foodies, and we really fell in love with San Diego, did we not?
Yes, I can't wait to go back.
So first up, the first place we went was the Gas Lamp District. And I just want to say the Gas Lamp District, what is called the Gas Lamp District, because it has these wonderful light bulbs. We're looking up on that building right now, but see these round light bulbs on the street lights? Evidently, they must have been lit by gas at one point or time. And so here we are, just enjoying our day in the Gas Lamp District. Now, one of the places that we went and ate here wasn't during the day, but it was at nighttime, the previous night that we took this picture, was at La Puerta. Now, there's a funny story about La Puerta, and I'll let you guys in on the inside scoop, but we were walking around with our friends, big group of us looking for a place to go. And the Gas Lamp District is restaurant, 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 bar, bar, restaurant, restaurant, bar. It's kind of crazy. And it can be very overwhelming. And everybody had a different idea of what they wanted to have to eat. Some people wanted to go stand at a taco stand. Some people wanted to sit and relax. Some people didn't want tacos at all. Some people, it was so confusing to try and find a place to go. So my husband made an executive decision. He picked a place for us. We were going to go. Now, we didn't talk about this place. This place shall not be named. We went, we had margaritas, and we ordered up some chips and salsa and guacamole that were inedible. They were not good. I said, I'm not eating this.
Well, don't associate it with La Puerta, though. That was a different place.
It was a different place.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely not La Puerta. So what happened was that we said, okay, we're not ordering food because beyond the chips and salsa, if we can't get through that, then we're not going to have anything else.
Yeah.
So my friends and I came up with this idea to go to La Puerta. La Puerta was a couple of places down, and it had this great vibe. There was music coming, just spilling out onto the street. It was packed. We actually had to put our names in and just wait for a few minutes. And there was some outdoor seating, but it was just a little bit chilly. So we were like, we're going to hang in there. We waited outside just to be able to get in and eat here. It wasn't a disappointment at all. Let me tell you, we picked a fantastic place in La Puerta. All right. So I'm going to go to the next one here to show you. This was all of us having a good time at La Puerta. This is all my husband's buddies that were there. They were all doing a conference together. So they were all geeking out at this conference and enjoying this wonderful food and drink at La Puerta. So what I had, and I don't have a lot of pictures of the actual tacos that we had, but we had street tacos. And I remember mine because it was so delicious. It was like shredded beef, like Barrera tacos. And they were just amazing. And the salsa was fantastic. And I had a spicy cocktail. All went so well together. And Rob, I think you had carnitas, if I remember correctly.
If I remember correctly, yeah.
But we highly recommend La Puerta. If you're going to go there, just know it isn't like quiet, sit down. It is party central. It's fun. But the food is great. Next up, we went for breakfast in the morning because we really, really needed to have some breakfast. And so we found this really cool place, and this is a picture of what I had to eat. This is how it was served to me, and I'm going to.
That was mine. You didn't get that.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so mistaken. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. That was yours. So what was it?
Those are my eggs Benedict. They were good.
I am so sorry. I got this confused. Yes, because yours was served on those English muffins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it was eggs Benedict with what?
The home fries there on the right hand side. I forget exactly what it's been a couple of weeks, so I don't remember the specific details. But what I do remember is just how flavorful it was. I like places like that because sometimes you go to a restaurant and they make the hollandaise sauce very nice that goes over it, but they don't take any chances. This was really great. Seasoning was put in there. I mean, I was very impressed with what they created.
Yeah, I'm struggling here a little bit too because I'm trying to figure out what this is underneath your egg.
I could look that up on the menu, but I'm on my receipt. I don't recall. All I just remember is the flavor. All I remember is the impact of the flavor, and that was the memory that it left me with.
I love the color of that green sauce on the top of it. Look how beautiful that sauce is. I just want to right now I want to dig in with my spoon and just get a taste of it.
Yeah.
So that was at Breakfast Republic.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a great breakfast place. And one of the things that happened when we got to Breakfast Republic was we saw this line outside. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew, I said, oh, it's a good place because there's a line, there's a wait to get in, unlike a weekday morning. I mean, it was beyond like commuter time. So these were all the locals going there to get this food. And so I'm going to let everybody in on a little secret. If you want to go to Breakfast Republic, you can put your name in and wait for a table, but they have a bar. And you can go sit at the bar without having to wait if there's room available. We saw two people go in, and one of them was wearing a military uniform. And so we followed them in right behind them, and they were kind enough to move over and make room for us so that we could sit in the empty seats that were next. And yeah, they were locals, and they eat there all the time.
Yeah, I think we had some people hating on us that were waiting in line and saw us go in. They were trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? We were like, nope, we got them.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at this picture, Rob, and I'm wondering if this isn't your picture, and maybe that's sausage.
No, I don't think that's my glass that's behind you.
Oh, you're right. That was mine. Mm-hmm. All right. So let me tell you what I had at Breakfast Republic because it was absolutely fantastic. I had some seafood cakes that were made with crab and also with now my brain is leaving me crayfish. So it was crayfish and crab. Oh. Yeah, it was.
I had forgotten that.
Yeah, it was so good. Crayfish and crab was what it was, and so they were almost like having like a seafood underneath your egg with the hollandaise sauce on there. And I also had some breakfast potatoes that were just amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay. Breakfast Republic, highly recommend it if you're eating out and about in San Diego at the Gas Lamp District. All right, next we went to Navy Pier. So Navy Pier, tell the story, Rob, the statue here, you know what this is. Tell everybody what that is.
Oh, well, that's from the very famous picture after World War II when I think it was Victory Japan, and somebody caught a photo in the middle of the street. That statue, I don't know what the height is, but it's I think it's 20 or 30 feet tall. It's deceptive looking right here.
It is deceptive, but if you look in the background, you can see a ship in the background, and if you look down near the bottom, you can see kind of like a sign and some pilings, and that kind of gives you an idea of the enormity of the statue. Yeah. Next to the big USS Midway, it doesn't look as big, but it is because the Midway itself is just ginormous. Those are planes sitting on top of the Midway. So first we were talking about Gas Lamp. So Navy Pier is like on the opposite side of where you would go to the Gas Lamp. If you were standing in downtown San Diego, Gas Lamp would be more, to you were kind of looking at the ocean, it would be to the left side, and the Navy Pier would be up to the right. Navy Pier is a little bit closer to Little Italy. So just trying to give people some kind of landmarks because I just jumped from one to the other. But you know you're at Navy Pier because you see that USS Midway,
Mhm.
can't miss it. You see the wonderful statue. It is one of those places that you just can't miss. And then, of course, there were tall ships out there too. And look at these. Aren't these just fantastic? And there's a story about this tall ship right here. It might look a little bit familiar to some of us from a scene in a movie. And what movie would that be from, Rob?
I
Do you,
think I not confirmed it, and I should have done that before this call. But that's from Pirates of the Caribbean. I think that's the ship they used for the Black Pearl.
yeah, that's what I was told. Anyway, when I was out on a tour, that that was the boat that Johnny Depp stood on, and that was from Pirates of the Caribbean. So lots of fun little things to do at Navy Pier. But we are a food podcast, so let's talk about the food that is at Navy Pier. This place is called the Fish Market, and we didn't have the best lighting. I tried to make these a little bit less distracting, but the sun was coming in. It was the best we could possibly do. But we found this place behind the Navy Pier, all the way down at the very end. You almost would walk by it and miss it and not even know it was there.
Yep.
We are originally from Massachusetts, and we know that some of the best places are usually right off of these piers and docks where the boats come in. And just luckily, we walked down there, and that's what we found. So it's called the Fish Market, and it has an upstairs and a downstairs. Now, upstairs, this sign right here said that it was closed during the day, but I think upstairs would be lovely. But downstairs was amazing unto itself. So, what we saw walking up, right, is this little description. There's the top of the market that we couldn't get into, and then the fish market, which is located on the first floor. Now, we took a look at the menu here. They had quite an extensive menu and decided, let's go in and give it a try. We had already had some breakfast, so we were like, let's just go in and have an appetizer. And we went in, and this is what we saw when we first walked in. All these proud pictures of a family that fishes. I mean, and those pictures look like they go back quite a ways. I think this is like a family business that's been around like for quite some time. And that was very encouraging to me because I know that they usually have the best seafood. And speaking of the best seafood, right in there, they had a fish market. You know, they were serving up amazing food that was handled, brought in right there. So that was exciting. And it also felt like a little bit of home for us, didn't it?
Yeah, being from New England, I'm used to just seeing these small places everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so true. And you felt like you were on a boat the whole time you were there, which was also fun. So this is what we ordered. This was a little appetizer of calamari.
Oh,
And
so
look, he's drooling over there, aren't you?
well, I mean, calamari is one of those. If you don't get it just right, it's like it's good, it's okay, whatever. No, they nailed it. I can't wait to go back just to eat at that restaurant.
For me, when I order calamari, and I love it fried, but for me, I have to have the tentacles and the rings. If I don't have both, then I don't feel like you're serving me a true calamari. Then you might as well have just opened up out of a frozen bag somewhere. I don't know why that is. I just like both. I like the tentacles. I think they get crispy, and I like the rings. And we'll give you another shot of that once we put it on the plate. And here's why. Not only did they give us the tentacles, the rings, they also fried up these wonderful vegetables.
Yep.
They had pepper and carrot and might have been something else in there as well. It was all just a lovely way to present a very simple appetizer.
Yep.
And there's my up close view of my tentacle with the sauce on it.
Yeah. The sauce, they made a fantastic sauce. The marinara, that's fine, but no, that is
Chili
it
sauce.
chili? It's a chili sauce. Oh, so good.
Yeah, they had a marinara and a chili sauce that they
Yep.
offered up. And both, I kept going back and forth from one to the other and just trading up because I couldn't decide which one I liked the best. And that's when you know you have good sauces, right?
Well, I have voted.
Well, you voted for the chili. You like the Asian chili flavors.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was right at Navy Pier, and we highly recommend that restaurant. All right, let me just take a quick peek here and see what we're coming up to next so I can kind of set the scene. Oh, I want to talk about the view from here because the view was just absolutely fantastic. This is you vibing out to the view, just sitting there, waiting for your food, chillaxing. In the background, you can see the USS Midway. That's the point of the Midway. And look how tiny the people look on that boat. That is just a ginormous boat. It cracks me up.
And you know, the funny thing is where it's situated. The funny thing is where this restaurant is situated. It was easy to miss. It's a big restaurant. It's just out farther out in, farther out on the pier, if you will. We had walked by there a couple of times and didn't even know that it existed. It wasn't until we really took our time we stumbled across it. We went, boy, that's a great find right there.
Correct. All right, we've moved on from the seafood market, and also at Navy Pier, we dined out at another seafood restaurant called Brigantine. We did this at nighttime, and this was our kind of our fancy dinner out. Like we enjoyed food everywhere, but this was where we were going to sit down and we were going to dine, and this was a great place to do so. It had amazing views. It was beautiful. So one of the things that I had that was fantastic was the fresh steamed clams. And I'm going to read you the description because I don't think my picture does it justice. It was chorizo, shallots, garlic, lemongrass in a red curry coconut broth with a toasted baguette. I mean, how could I not get those steamed clams? They were just fantastic. And Rob, this was your dinner.
Yep. And that's actually was one of the specials because that is trout that you're seeing there.
Oh.
Yeah, with asparagus and with a lovely risotto on the bottom.
Wonderful. That looks amazing.
Yeah, that was delicious.
I'm trying to figure, is that shrimp? Oh, the shrimps were sitting on the top. That's right.
I didn't end up with the shrimp.
I ate it. But one of the things that I want everybody to know when we look at this food, look how beautifully it's plated. See how the liquid is just the sauce that just swirled around the edge of that dish. This is such a beautiful plating. And look at the setting behind you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not fake. That was looking out onto the harbor. Beautiful, beautiful views to go with beautiful food.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, I have to say, it was our cab driver, our Uber driver, that pointed out this restaurant.
Yep.
And I thought, oh no, it looks like it's right down in the middle of Tourist Central. Nah. No, it was one of the best decisions that we could have made for a fine dining night. Now, from my Maine, this is what I had. Speaking of Maine, look at that. Looks like a Maine lobster, doesn't it? I had a lobster tail. I had a beautiful filet. I had that mashed potatoes, beautiful peppercorn sauce just drizzled over the top of those perfectly roasted asparagus. And again, look at little flowers showed up again on my plate. I want this right now while I'm looking at it.
I know.
It's making me so hungry.
You're killing me here as well.
Hopefully, if you're watching this is like you're drooling right now because it was drool worthy. It was so good. All right, next up, we had dessert. And I think I have a little video of the crunch coming in from this. Let's see if it's there on the next slide. Look it. His face says it all, doesn't it?
I always appreciate a good creme brulee.
Right. But look at the gorgeous views. Look at the that was from where we were, right there at that restaurant, Brigantine. We highly recommend Brigantine. All right, moving on. Next, we went to Little Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Little Italy, actually, Navy Pier and Little Italy kind of touch each other. Navy Pier might even be attached to Little Italy. I don't know the technicalities of that, but I know to get into these Little Italy neighborhoods, you walk from Navy Pier and go right. So it's all right there, all together. And we tracked down a place online that we wanted to go to because it was a lunchtime for us. And we wanted to go have really good, authentic Italian sandwiches. And what's more authentic than a place that would name itself Mona Lisa? Come on. This had a little market on one side, and then it had the restaurant on the other. So we walked way up the hill, past like a couple of interesting breweries and some other places, and from Navy Pier, and then we found Mona Lisa. And when we walked in, this was what it looked like. For me, this was homey. This showed 3 generations of families that have owned this restaurant, all the way from childhood to marriages to grandparents. I mean, it was just so authentic Italian for me. It's what I remember from the North End and East Boston and places like that I grew up. And for those of you who are from, other cities that have a high Italian population, you're going to know what I'm talking about when you just look at these pictures. And what we had to eat here, Rob, this was yours.
Chicken parm.
Look at that bread. It looks like it was made in-house, does it not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was. If not, it was a local bakery that specializes in it.
And that was a big sandwich. That's one sandwich. That had to have been, I don't know, 8 inches long, if not 10.
It probably was a full foot.
Yeah, I think so. And from what I remember, like, it's not like the chains that you have now where you get a sub sandwich, right? You get a big sandwich when you get an Italian sandwich. It's a whole sandwich, not a half a sandwich.
No, and it was cooked just right. I love living in North Carolina, but every once in a while there's something that you don't get that you're used to. This was like having it up in the Northeast.
Yep. And staying in the Italian vein, I decided to do a veal parmesan.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a picture of my veal cutlet parmesan. Again, now you can kind of see that bread up close and that cheese. And as I was lifting the sandwich, look.
It was stringy.
And when the cheese looks like that, Rob, you used to work for a food manufacturer, a food purveyor a year ago, food purveyor, excuse me, and years ago. And what does that show you right there?
Yeah, it's one of the 3 things you're looking for, the stretch of the cheese. So yeah, it's the stretch, it's how it melts, and when you bite into it, does it have that little bit of give of resistance? So no, high quality is what I'm trying to get at.
That's right. That showed that they were using high quality ingredients and homemade food. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely loved this Mona Lisa, and I would recommend it to anybody if you're looking for an authentic Italian experience. We just did sandwiches, but I'm sure dinner would be just as wonderful.
Yeah, I'd make a recommendation just off of what we had.
Yeah. And look at my nails match too. Isn't that amazing? I didn't plan that, but it looks like they match. All right, let me see. Hold on. I got to figure out. I'm getting lost in that sandwich because it's lunchtime here and I am hungry. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on from Mona Lisa's and Little Italy. We're going to come back to, if you're in San Diego and you're staying at one of these wonderful hotels. This happens to be the Manchester Grand Hyatt with 2 towers. And this is where we stayed. We stayed at this tower.
That's correct.
But lot of things we did were in this tower. And then right behind it, as you came out, this is what it looked like at nighttime. It was lit up. It was beautiful. You're walking right down those stairs. And when you get down the stairs, you end up in a place called Seaport Village. But before you get there, right attached to the hotel, was a little place called Sally's Fish House. Now, Sally's, I went to. Rob, you didn't go. We have the opportunity to go. But I decided I was going to pop in and have a little appetizer and a drink. And, well, Rob was working one evening. So I went in and had oysters on the half shell that were very good. One of the things that I want to tell you was that I was coming from my background in New England and then also living in North Carolina. What we serve with oysters here on the East Coast is very different from how they serve them on the West Coast. There was no horseradish. There was no mignonette. There was, you know what it was? It was Tabasco sauce. They had scallops, they had scallion on the top of it, which was very nice, which you wouldn't get here. So there almost was a mignonette already on it. And then they gave you Tabasco sauce to add to that. So it was a little confusing for me. I was looking for the horseradish.
Mm-hmm.
It was still good, pricey, but good. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret about Sally's. Sally's has a secret menu, and that's how I got here. You can go on their website and look for it, or on their Facebook page and look for the secret menu. And what the secret menu is basically almost like happy hour prices for the same things that you would get at other times. But if you don't ask for it, they may not give it to you. So you can get the oysters a little less expensive by going to the secret menu. Thought that'd be a good tip for the viewers. All right.
Right now, we're talking about Seaport Village.
All right, Seaport Village. This is right behind, I just mentioned that, right behind where the hotels are. And Seaport Village is loaded with lots of places to eat. And we went to some of them that we want to just share with you because we found this to be almost like our little food mecca right there, right behind our hotel. The San Diego Burger Company. All right, Rob, we were like, yeah, I guess I could go for a burger.
Yeah, I regret not getting photos or videos of this. I don't know if you caught any of this, but man, that was such a good burger.
And the reason I didn't, I can tell you, is that my hands from holding this big juicy burger with all these toppings on it, I had such a mess I couldn't touch my phone. It was so good. It was dripping down the front of your face good. And we did take some more photos here, but just of the San Diego Burger Company logo, just so you'll know, so you're in the right place. They have a burger here that's called the Goliath Burger, which we'll talk about in a second. But this will kind of give you an idea. All of the burgers are ground sirloin steak. They're all prepared to order. They are all served one way. And if you want them differently, you order it different. The grilled red onions, the lettuce, the tomatoes, the Thousand Island dressing, just so good. The one that I had was this Southwest avocado burger. And what made mine so good was that it had green chili, not hot green chili, but just beautifully flavored green chili. With the avocado and the pepper jack. This was a true San Diego burger. And for what burgers cost, we didn't think that this one broke the bank at all. This was very reasonable for what we pay for a gourmet burger here. Rob, you had the avocado bacon cheeseburger.
Yep. Then it was fantastic. And I tell you, I love burgers, and when I'm ready for a burger, I want a good one. But this is one of those where I would crave going back there. If I go back to San Diego, there's no way I'm going to not go back to this place because they just did such a fantastic job on it. I can't wait to try it again.
Yeah, I crave this burger as well, and mostly for that green chili. I wish that you had gotten that on your burger because you would have loved it.
Well, next time I will.
time you'll try that one. They do have something called the Goliath burger. Look at this one. I don't even think I could get my mouth around
No,
that
I'm
one.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Take down a giant, it says. That is so, so funny. Okay, so we ate some other food there. Next up, I want to take us over and talk about some pizza. Mr. Moto's Pizza. This is New York style pizza in San Diego. And what I liked about it was it wasn't pretentious. Mr. Moto's Pizza. It doesn't sound like pizza that you would get like in the North End or in New York, and I don't know who Mr. Moto is, but boy, let me tell you, it did a great job. There was plenty of outdoor seating. There was some indoor seating as well. And you can see funky New York pies. I mean, he is putting it right out there that this is a New York pizza joint. And you can get pizza by the slice, or you could get whole pizza as well. And you could get salads and other things, calzone, pastas, garlic knots. You can build your own pies. I mean, you could get wings here, That was something that we missed out on. We have to go back to Mr. Moto's and get the wings and see how those are.
Yep.
And so this is just a little bit, I'm just kind of going through their case to kind of show you a little bit of what the pies look like. Look how delicious these are. I'm fussy about my pizza, and I enjoyed Mr. Moto's Pizza. Rob, you used to make pizzas way back in the day when you were a kid.
Way back, yes, and that was a lot of fun.
And what do you think about the looks of these?
They look great. They're perfectly circular, which is very impressive. They've got a good rise on that crust that's there. Now that was definitely good in the ingredients, because if I remember correctly, we got the pepperoni. It was really good, intense spiciness to it.
Yep. And even their salads look beautiful. Look at that shaved Parmesan on the top. I mean, so everything here was fantastic and reasonably priced, as we just showed you the menu. And they didn't take themselves seriously. Look at this. You get a pizza that says, "With love, Mr. Moto" on it.
There we go.
I liked that. I like people that don't, that aren't overly, serious about their food. All right. So staying in Seaport Village, there was another place that we stopped and we had breakfast at. And I absolutely enjoyed my breakfast. Is that Spill the Beans? If you're staying in either one of those, any of those hotels right there, or either of the towers at the Manchester Grand, again, this is right in your backyard. You have an option to come out here and have your breakfast. Well, the reason I'm showing you the picture of my breakfast, and it looks messy, and it was messy, but it was messy good, is that they took and made wasabi cream cheese with that salmon. Oh, it was to die for. It had cucumber, it had wasabi cream cheese, it had salmon. I had it on an everything bagel, and I will have this again. And now I'm going to be recreating that cream cheese for bagels at home.
That's right.
Again, I think I'm going to show you the menu. Yeah, it was called the Lock, Stock, and Bagel. That was the one that I had. And there's the description right there. The sliced cucumber, red onion, fried capers, wasabi ginger cream cheese. So good. Now, next up, you're looking for something sweet. There was plenty of sweets to be had all through the Seaport Village. But our favorite place was the Seaport Fudge Factory. And we did get to interview the woman who runs the Fudge Factory. We have that in a different podcast if you want to hear her interview and just listen to a little bit more about the Seaport Fudge Factory. We'll have that for you. But we just wanted to kind of give you an idea. Look at all these beautiful, beautiful desserts. And Rob did. And he went right in and tried some of that New York cheesecake and in the hotel. So
it has this lovely combination of firmness to it. However, it has a silkiness as well. It's tough to find a perfect combination. This is wonderful.
He was liking that.
Yeah, I was pretty happy.
All right. So San Diego, we're coming back. We have said this through our whole podcast today. We know places that we want to go back to. I'm definitely going back to the several of the places at Seaport Village, and I'm definitely going back to the fish market because I want to have dinner at the fish market now upstairs and just enjoy that as well.
Yep.
And just so many places we'll be going back to. Coronado Island for sure. There was a lot of restaurants over there that we didn't even get to try. But let's just like we didn't get to see the Coronado Hotel, right? The Dell. We missed the Dell.
The Dell.
Under construction. 2025, we'll be back. So we hope that this has been helpful for you. If you were thinking about going to San Diego or on the fence, definitely go. If you are going to San Diego, you're going to want to come back and refer to all of the places that we ate. We have another podcast about where we drank. We've got another one in there about shopping for the foodie in your life. We have some fun ones there. So we have a lot of videos for you to take a look at, a lot of podcasts for you to kind of review if you're planning a trip to San Diego or just want to know more about what we did while we were there. Thank you for watching today. Thank you, Rob, for joining.
Happy to.
All righty. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.